Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm at Church on the Move here in Tulsa with Johnathan Basquez, the production director, and we're standing in front of their really unique preaching TV setup. And basically, I'm going to get out of the camera shot and let Johnathan walk us through your preaching TV setup. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, as Rylan was saying, we got this preaching TV about a year ago. Our pastor Witt has been wanting a teaching TV like this for some time. He originally started off with the TV that was ran by ProPresenter, and it was just complicated because you're living in someone else's brain, trying to figure out when they're wanting a slide to transition, and he just wanted to have some easeability to be able to transition slides when he wanted to, highlight different things. But with the help of Skylark AV and their team, they helped us build a TV scenario that we'd be able to use that's been reliable. We haven't had any failures. Where's some wood at so I can knock on, but we haven't had any failures yet with this teaching TV, and it's been simple to use. So I'll just walk through some of these steps. So this whole TV, we have a holding slide that's been put on the front end. So as the TV comes out, that's there. And then as you can see, we just go through the whole slides as he goes through them all. They can be underlined as he wants. He can draw on it, do whatever. Sometimes he'll even put a blank slide on it so that he can he can draw, or if he's trying to write out a word, whatever it may be, he goes through it with that. Over here on the side is a trash can, which deletes basically whatever. If you've done multiple drawings, it'll delete it. Or if you did one mark and you need to back up, it'll revert it back to the original. But the big thing that came along with it is trying to figure out a software that would actually use, that would be helpful but also simple and did all the features that he wanted. We've been using Simple Draw. That's a Mac-used platform. And it is just that, it's very simple. There are a lot of different scenarios that you can, or different programs that you can use. All these programs have tons of different features, but we wanted something that was super simple for him to use, that had highlighting or a drawing feature. This does have a highlighting feature, but on that program, it's a big drawing feature that comes here that you could select different colors, do different things on it. We've just simply gone with a very simple approach of just using one color and the drawing feature around it. The big feature that we've seen in all of this, one, it was built for him to have easeability, but in his teaching style, he is a teacher and he likes to underline like a lot of universities do, going through scripture and really going through and highlighting words. Me being in the booth most of the time, as I've seen him use this, there are a lot of more people in the congregation that are bringing their Bibles, using it and actually highlighting. As I've talked to several of them, a lot of them didn't even know how to highlight or what they were highlighting. It's like me in junior high, just highlighting everything that we were reading just because. But now they're getting more influence of like what they're highlighting, why they're reading it, and it's brought a lot more context to their daily living. And then Rylan, if you want, you can come over here and we'll walk behind it and we'll walk through some of this. So this is a Sharp television. It is one of their broadcast television that has an anti-glare on the front end of it. We've done some modification to the back. Wouldn't be Church on the Move if we didn't modify something. So we've added a Mac. So a Mac is actually running the software behind it. There is a software on this Sharp television that you can use, but you have to use a USB drive, which that's not going to help me if I have to make a random change in the middle of service. None of us have ever had that happen. But yeah, so we use the Mac. We're able to screen share in from the booth and able to swap out slides when necessary. So we built in a custom mount here. There's also a mount here that has a water bottle holder. So we just throw the water bottle on the back and he can grab it whenever he needs it. It's very simple. I mean, the biggest thing that we're doing right now is we have a bidirectional SDI to HDMI that's being transmitted out. This can also hit the side screens if we need to. Both of our other churches have this same feature and they use it consistently on the side screen since they're in a smaller environment. So they're able just to broadcast it straight up to the side screens if they, for most of their time since they're not using iMag. Biggest thing is the cleanliness of the whole thing. This is moving by volunteers, so making sure that everything is out of the way so that there's nothing intruding that area. We have a whole loom that goes to the back as well. We also have a backup SDI in line just in case something goes out. Here at Tulsa, we're not using this to the screens as much, so if there was an SDI that went out, it wouldn't be the end of the world since we're just shooting cameras straight into the screen and WIT itself. So yeah, that's the overview of this. So back here you'll see this C-port adapter back here. This is a headless HDMI. This allows us to, in the booth, have a second display, so it's basically giving it a false HDMI signal so that we are able to go through and adjust slides without having an issue on the TV itself. So basically he can be up here and we can also swap slides on the front end if we needed to. And then we can go up to the booth and we'll show you some images of what that software looks like.
So Jonathan, for churches that are looking at a TV setup like this for pastors to touch the screen on video, what are some considerations to think about? Like I've dealt with TV flicker and banding and things like that. Or do you have any tricks or things? Can we use just a TV from Walmart to do this, or what do you think?
You can do anything you want, but yeah, there is an issue with just the glare of the TV. That was one of the things. Back in the day, we had a TV that was just a normal TV, and we had to spend hours. I remember as an intern spending hours putting a screen protector on and making sure the bubbles were fully out. This has helped us to not have to do that. There is a slight glare on it, but I mean, it's a TV. You're not going to fully get rid of that. As far as banding, we haven't had any issues with this TV. We haven't had any refresh rate issues going into it. So this TV so far has been a pretty good purchase in what we've done. This one is definitely bigger than our other churches. Our other churches have smaller size TVs. This is a 70-inch. The other ones are 50-inch TVs. So
same model.
Same model. The one that we just installed a couple of weeks ago is a newer version of this NEC Sharp TV, which basically has everything. It's just a different style of beveled, but same features on it.
What kind of price point are they?
These ones we've been spending with everything. It's about $4,000 to $5,000 for everything, all inclusive.
Okay, that's not just the TV.
That is not. So that was with the TV, the TV stand, cabling, everything within that.
What frame rate are you shooting cameras at?
So during worship we are at 29, and then during our message we upscale to 59.
Okay. So that's good to know, just in case. So if you're at 59, this TV works well at 59.
Correct. This TV does work well at 59. We have shot into it at 29 and haven't seen any issues on our system.
Gotcha. Another question I have is, a Mac Mini is the brains, but I didn't think Macs could do touch surface things. How are you doing that? Is the app it makes it work?
No, so the Mac does not do touch screen, but we are using a USB that's plugging into into this TV that allows it to enable touch screen on it.
Gotcha. So the app works with the touch screen type gestures.
Correct.
And the TV interprets those.
Correct. So
from the USB from the Mac Mini.
Correct. So like if we just have the Mac Mini up without the app on, I'll still be able to use the TV controlling the Mac as if I was the mouse. So you can fully have a touch screen. So let's just say you're not using this and you want to have the TV up and you want to do even ProPresenter really, you can still go through and touch everything. It's just the touch screen capability on the TV is telling it you're a mouse.
That makes sense.
Yeah. We did add different wheels and casters onto these to this stand. So these are more of what we use on our decks on stage, but these are just easier to roll. They don't create divots when they sit for a while on your stage, and they also don't create divots on the actual wheel, so that when you're moving it away, it's not you don't hear that clunk clunk going across. These are very cushioned wheels. The other thing is back here we fabricated this hook, so all the cable has a cable strain on it and a relief. So if it ever does get pulled, it's not going to get pulled with the TV. Biggest thing is, if you guys are doing this and modding it yourself, is make sure to use a chief stand. The stand is the most important thing because we've bought cheaper stands and either they don't hold up well or in motion they don't move well. And then you have a TV that's sideways when you get on stage. So that's the biggest part, is making sure also that they have long legs and they're heavy duty, so you're not tipping over a TV. This TV is pretty stout just because it has all of these extra components into it.
Everything stays powered on backstage, side stage.
Correct. Everything's on the side stage, so we're checking it. We have a video supervisor in the room that's just watching to make sure everything's going on, but one of their big jobs is making sure this TV, when it's in use, both has touch control capability before it gets rolled out, and that the slides are clear. Because when you're moving, at times, if you have a curtain or obstacles in the way, even stage hands when they're moving it, if you touch the screen, it's going to leave streaks. At some of our other churches, they have black drapes that are on the back end. So as soon as they go across, if the screen is on, you'll see this streak go across with the highlights. So this is Jordan Till. He is our systems manager for Church on the Move. And he's going to walk you through the back side of all the slide draw features and what we use and how we have used it up till now.
Yeah, with slide draw, it's pretty simple. We use standard PNG images to import them in. One feature with slide draw is it has a control panel where all those images are input and all the settings for how the touchscreen works is implemented. Because of this, that's why we have a ghost display on our HDMI. So we have two screens on our remote screen sharing. The right screen is just the ghost display, and the left screen is actually what you see on the TV. What this lets us do is in our control panel, we bring in all of our slides into slide draw. We can toggle full screen on or off. We can clear the drawing window, all the different kind of settings we might need. Like if you're highlighting or drawing, you may want to change what size the marker is on the screen. Another thing this allows you to choose is the slide draw lets you have those stroke settings on the actual TV itself, and kind of some extra tools that we don't use, and all those can be toggled on and off on this control panel. To remove slides from from slide draw or to add slides, we always start with an empty control panel, so we just delete all the slides, and that leaves it blank. And then we have all of our images preloaded on our computer in our documents folder. And the most important thing about this is to have them in the order that you want to show them on slide draw. That way, if slide draw gets closed or opened, in the time of you setting everything up, the order stays the same.
The other thing is too, slide draw does not like it when you're pulling from two different source folders. It starts getting a little laggy in that area, so always keeping all of your source files in one area. So if, like us, we have a generic graphic, we're pulling that in fresh every week to make sure it's always in that area.
And another thing we've noticed recently is there seems to be a difference in performance between saving stuff on the desktop versus in the documents folder. I don't know if that's coincidence, but for us, we use the documents folder every time. So you select all your images, you just drag them and drop them in the program, and now all those images are shown in the same order on your TV. On your control panel, you can go through a couple of the slides, see how it's responding, making sure there's not a huge lag when you hit next or back. But to actually use the TV, you need to go back to where you can see both displays, because the cursor on the computer is actually what allows the touch screen to mark on the TV. So within slide draw, it has the option to blank your cursor. So we enable that, so the cursor goes away as soon as we move it over the TV. And then once the cursor is over the TV part of the screen sharing, you just remove your mouse on the computer you're using to below it, and then you can minimize your screen sharing app, and you're good to go on your TV.
So are you using like Apple's built-in screen sharing, or are you using something else?
No, Apple's built-in screen sharing.
So not Chrome Remote Desktop or anything like that?
Mm-mm. Nope.
And it's worked well?
Yeah, we have
That Mac Mini's on Wi-Fi?
Yep.
Correct.
Is it on like your production network?
No, it's just on the standard Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Not guest Wi-Fi, standard Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
We are moving it towards putting it on a actual Ethernet line for more reliability, but that's more for sync and different things if we're needing to do things fast and reliable. But That's it. We try not to make any adjustments like on air. Like that's the big thing. The other thing for your pastor is he is controlling the screen, so he needs to be fully on board with the fact that he's going to have to hit next, back up. If he's a guy or girl that likes to go around their sermon notes, this one may not be a feature that they want because they're going to have to be very strategic in how they're placing their slides from time to time. We also use prompter monitors so they know, all right, this slide's coming up next, and they know, oh, when I go to this next slide, this is where it's going. So we use features like that to help them along, but I mean, this one is really on them. Along with preaching, they are now a CG operator, so they'll have to get on board with that. If you're shooting into the TV to capture a IMAG footage, it is a big thing to have them stay close and stay in the shot. If you have a pastor that likes to move around a lot, like this is going to be a very big teaching moment for them to stay close while they're introducing the slide, talking it through, and then they can move around. But going, hey, here's a slide, and walking away, it won't work with this scenario.
Johnathan, thanks for showing us that. It's really intriguing, interesting, and I'm scared to let my pastor have these kinds of powers, like that he might draw something inappropriate on the screen, but the trash can is good, you know. Can you remotely hit the trash can?
You can remotely hit the trash can. It's a little tricky, but you can do it.
Okay, nice. All right, so Johnathan is going to give us kind of like a gear rundown list that we'll put in the description of this video. That way, if you guys want to try and do this yourself, you could tackle this. If you have questions, drop them in the comments and we'll do our best to answer them. And say thanks to Johnathan and the team here at Church on the Move. And remember, we can do a lot of great things. Let's do it all for God's glory. We'll see you in the next one.